Welcome everybody back to another Boldcast reaction. I'm Lindsay.
I'm Carson.
And today we will be watching Clannad After Story episode 24. What happened last time?
Well, everything happened last time because this is the recap episode. Not a normal thing. And apparently there's some new canon bits with the new timeline after the changes and everything. So we're gonna check that out and see what this is all about. Hopefully you guys enjoy.
Yeah, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe. You can check out Patreon if you want to get the uncut for this, plus the uncuts for all of Clannad After Story, and you can get the next OVAs early. Let's go.
これはお前が生まれる前のお前が生まれるまでのお話だ。パパとママが最初に話をしたのは高校3年生の時だった。その時初めて会ったの？ああ、まだお互いに名前を知らなかった。
ushio.
She's too cute.
He looks so young. Oh my god. And this is just animation from the first episode.
楽しいこととか嬉しいこととか全部変わらずにはいられないです。それでもこの場所が好きでいられますか？
見つければいいだろう。
I just remember how crazy this was when we first saw it. I was like, oh my god, is the whole show gonna be like this? And then it just wasn't. But it was still really good.
Yeah, it was.
Like, no, just like how cool it was with like the flying around and stuff. He does look so much younger.
He does.
It's really weird. For him, it was subtle. For Nagisa, when they like aged her up, it hit her like a bus. She was like, looked like 30.
少しずついろんなことが変わり始めた。ママはお芝居をやろうと。でもまず学校の演劇部を復活させなきゃならなかった。
パパもお手伝いしたんでしょ？
そう。ママがあまりに一生懸命だったから放っておけなくなったんだ。ママはその頃から団子大家族が大好きだった。お前も好きだ。
She's singing it for the first time.
ママは一人で練習をしていた。やってみたいお芝居があったんだ。
あなたをお連れしましょうか。この町の願いが叶う場所に。
Did she take him
それから
actually?
仲間集めが始まった。
Did she take him?
Magically in that moment.
Well, no, I mean like to the hospital because that's the place in the city where the wishes come true. Oh shit, I remember that. I almost completely forgot about that. I kind of blocked it out.
それからその妹の藤林亮、パパのクラスの委員長だった。
That was so
That
funny.
was funny.
It's crazy the style difference in the show. Like overall, like even their hair and like the way everything's drawn, it's so much more like the visual novel style earlier on. In just like subtle ways.
他にもいろんなやつがいた。2年生の
I wish we got more of her in After Story.
Me too.
Tomo
これ
Pyon.
からも道は続いている。お互いに頑張ろう。約束だ。
寮母の相良美沙恵さん、それにいつも資料室にいて相談に乗ってくれた宮沢幸音。
I like that we got a full arc for her.
Yeah.
That was good.
幸せな人のところに光の玉が現れる。それを手に入れると望みが叶うって言うんだ。
傭兵おじちゃんは？
そうだ、あいつがいたな。
Uncle Yohei, she said. He's Uncle Yohei. That was such a good way to start off After Story.
He dated your grandmother for a brief period of time. What?
Mm.
進路はバラバラになったけど、今でも時々集まって、今年の正月もみんなうちに来てくれたから、お前も覚えてるか？
That's so nice they all get to meet her I'm a big.
演劇部が
Dango
復活するまで
Dekazoku
にはいろんなことがあった
It's so weird. That seems like so. I mean, it was so long ago, but it just seems like a completely different
入
thing.
院している妹がいたお前の友達の風子ちゃんだ部員だけじゃなく面倒を見てくれる先生も探さなくちゃならなかった
Honestly, I still feel kind of bad for those girls who just got like their dreams stolen from them.
バスケット
This is such a good moment.
この母にしてこの子はありかせめて父親だけはまともだしおいなんだ言っちゃいけないことを言ってくれたな早苗さんとアッキーの説明はいらないよなアッキーに頼まれてみんなで野球をしたこともあった早苗さんもアッキーも最初からパパを心よく家に
They're so good.
I can't wait to rewatch this show someday. All this stuff is gonna hit so different. It's like, yeah.
でも早苗さんもアッキーもさりげなく見守ってくれていたママは体が弱くて時々熱を出して寝込んでた早苗さんとアッキーは
Oh my god, this soundtrack is fucking godly. This is top 10 anime soundtracks of all time. This is up there with fucking Berserk for me right now.
It's really good.
It's undeniably incredible, man. The music.
学園祭が近づいてきたお芝居の本番に向けては本格的に準備に取り掛かったところが直前になってとんでもない問題が持ち上がった
That sucked.
That did.
二人とも自分の夢を
ダメだ幕を下ろそう夢を叶えろナギサ
何
おっさんナギサバカかおめえは親の夢なんだよお前が叶えればいいんだ俺たちはお前が夢を叶えるのを夢見てんだよ俺たちは夢を
How about everyone else was just like, is this part of the show?
そういうもんなんだよ家族ってのはそういうもんなんだよ
Kazoku.
俺たちはそれを待ち焦がれて生きてきたんだよ見つけたら俺たちは落ち込むぞてめえ
Damn it. Call her a bastard. Damn it. We're just like, you fucker.
I always really liked her outfit. It seems like a Christmas outfit.
あなたをお連れしましょうかこの町の願いが叶う場所に
連れて行ってくれナギサ
The place in the city where my unborn child reigns over us all, as the city.
As the city itself and God.
どんなお話だったの
終わった世界で暮らす女の子の話
It's so true. It's like, what the fuck is she talking about? We didn't know the title or the author. Well, technically she was the author because she created the character.
パパもその話を覚えているような気がするんだママはそれから先もずっと一緒に歩いていこう
Man, this show is so insane.
It's just, there's just so many things, and it's all so good.
You remember that scene when they wrote their name on the chalkboard? That was so fucking... As they left, as they graduated, they just wrote it there, and that was where Clannad ended. That was so fucking
ママ
good.
が体調を崩して
That was so bad.
パパもすごくショックだった やっぱり俺も留年すればよかった
ともやくんそんなことで足を止めたらダメです進めるなら進むべきなんですともやくんは進んでください
That's crazy, and he had to leave her behind even then, you know? But it was the springtime, it was a new beginning. If I ever go to Japan in my life, I am 1,000,000% going to all of those locations. I will, like, I don't care how fucking long it takes or how many thousands of dollars extra I'll have to spend to, like, stay there. Holy shit. There's no way I'm passing up that opportunity.
その頃パパはもっと大きな会社に移るって話があったんだ。ダメになってしまった。
And he doesn't say to little ushio.
やけになりそうだったパパを支えてくれたのはやっぱりママだった。ママにプロポーズしたのはその時だ。でもすぐに結婚できたわけじゃない。
Had to
ママは
defeat
ま
her
た体調を
father.
崩してとうとう卒業式には出られなかった。でもママのためにみんなが集まって卒業式を開いてくれた。そのすぐ後だ。パパたちは夫婦になった。ママのお腹に赤ちゃんができた。後ろ、お前のことだぞ。
Little ushio.
でもママは体が丈夫じゃなかった。お前が生まれるまでは大変だったんだ。
出産の際、少し危険が伴うとお医者様に言われました。
This part of the story was so rough.
It was really bad.
Because you couldn't even grieve. It was just stress.
アッキーは昔の話を聞かせて。
And like just all the characters, like even Akio, like you could tell there was just this subtle sense of like despair hanging
Yeah.
over everything and like this preparation for fucking terrible stuff.
そういう話だ。牛尾？牛尾？あ、寝ちまったのか。
Fell asleep under the tree.
俺には不思議な記憶がある。牛尾にはまだ話してないけど、あいつは一度生まれてるんだ。その記憶の中では、牛尾が生まれた時に渚は亡くなってしまっている。俺は牛尾の世話を古川の家に頼んで一人で暮らしていた。そして牛尾が5歳の夏、
So cute.
早苗さんが計画した通りに旅をして、その最後の目的地でおばあさんはいろんな話を聞かせてくれた。たった今俺が牛尾に話をしたみたいに。それは俺が生まれる前の物語だった。何もかも順調に回り出していた。ところが、どうした牛尾？
おしっこ一人でできなかった。
え？どうした牛尾？
Why are you doing this again?
悪い夢の中にいるような気がした。もちろん今の牛尾は元気だ。大きな病気なんかしたことがない。でもその世界の牛尾はそのまま起きられなくなってしまった。その時何かが起きた。気がつくと渚が目の前にいた。5年前の牛尾が生まれた日に戻っていたんだ。不思議な話だ。でも俺は本当にあったことだと思ってる。この町で俺と渚は出会い、この町で牛尾が生まれた。この町でいろんなやつと知り合って、この町でいろんな経験を重ねてきた。うちはこれからも大勢の人と支え合いながら暮らしていくんだ。この町で。牛尾、風子、風邪ひくぞ。そろそろ起きろ。
Both taking a little nap.
Maybe a little flower crown.
Nice.
Yeah, did we say this during an episode that like the two girls that were in the choir club that they seem to be in a romantic relationship,
and like later they lived together as well.
Yeah, there was a shot of that
5 years later. I don't know if it was the first timeline or the second.
I think it was
or
the
whatever.
second.
But we saw them. And they were living together, and it was just like very, very wholesome.
Among waifus, there's always a subtle like romantic bend to it, you know, like with the joke that like Rio and Nagisa had that like moment or whatever. Like there's always that kind of thing, and like, you know, they're close friends and everything. That's it. But yeah, I don't know. That was just interesting. Anyway.
I think it was just cool that they followed through with that, like
and just in a very subtle way too, like not even
because
like,
they weren't really
stating
like main characters. They were just like, that was a nice little recap. I almost cried like multiple times from it because they just showed all the sad parts, a lot of the happy parts too. But it was just they gave a good amount of time for some stuff.
I just wanted to hear her say that again.
Yeah, it was just really nice.
There's so much that I forgot, and I cannot wait to rewatch this. Like, fucking Tomoya gardening will be the greatest double episode stretch of boring ass anime that I will ever see after rewatching it. Like, it will be the most entertaining thing I've ever seen when I rewatch it. I can tell already.
You say that now. However, when
I know it will,
when it gets to the second episode of him gardening,
it will 100% be worth it.
I'd like to hear you say that again.
I will. Wait for it. It's gonna be awesome. All that shit is gonna be so good. And I know that's why, I can now see that's, I said this before I think at one point, but I think that's why everyone was kind of upset when like that one, and even that basketball episode. That basketball episode I think is still a little bit too far, but I think I'll enjoy it with new eyes. Because I rewatched my reaction to that, and us talking about it, and I don't really change anything that I said. As far as a first watch, that was such a dumb episode. It was so stupid. On a rewatch, it's probably a fucking dope-ass episode because you get to see everybody hanging out and having fun.
Yeah.
And you, like, now I have the attachment to everybody that I think I was supposed to have going into the first watch of it. But I didn't have it. And whether that's up to me or whether the show just, like, was saving all of its juice for the end so they didn't, like, give you that actual emotional payoff in the first part. Like, especially rewatching all of it, I think that there's genuinely something to that. Like, unless you really liked unless you really love, like, I know, I forget who it is on Patreon, but somebody really loves Kotomi. I think it's Nizuma AG, but and other people like really love Kotomi or really love Fuko or one of the twins or Tomio or whatever. And I didn't, and I guess I really like the twins and Tomio, which is why, like, when their episode came around in season 1, I really got invested.
I feel like part of it is starting off with Fuko. She's kind of like the least likable one. Not that I don't love Fuko now, but at the time, Fuko was getting pretty old pretty fast.
Yeah, and Fuko had the most time of
anybody
else.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of what the problem was there. And I was gonna say this, and I'll say it now, because this was the recap episode. But I've said this off camera to Carson, I kind of wish that Fuko, like, hadn't been in high school, and she had been around Ushio's age when she, like, landed in the hospital. So then that way it would make, like, because she acts like a little kid, and she basically is a little kid, and now she's best friends with Ushio, who is 5, but she was supposed to be, like, 13 or 14.
She was supposed to be 16 or 17 by that time. I
thought she was just going into high school. I don't think she was the same age
I guess
as
so. No, but then she, like, middle school's last, like, are going longer. So
14.
She would probably be like 14 or 15.
Is like the start of high school, I thought. But yeah,
well, Tokyo Revengers, they're all in middle school, and they're all like 13 to 15.
Oh, that's true.
So I think that she.
Ow.
Oh, sorry. I think she was like 14 or 15. Anyway,
I guess it doesn't really matter, but I feel like she acts just like way too childish for me to believe that she was in high school. And it's not like so bad, but I do kind of wish she had been younger, and then that would make sense why her and Ushio get along so well. It's not just because she has a thing for cute things; it's because they're both just kids and they're hanging out together.
I think it makes more. I think it makes sense the way it was written, but it was like there's a lot of rationalization or like not like rationalization is strong for what happened, but it's like I assume that the reason why Fuko is in high school is because it's a harem visual novel at the end of the day. That's what Clannad is originally about. The after story part of it is like an extra true ending where like you do everything in the whole thing. Apparently, this is what I've been told. But and like so like the point of when you just buy like say back in whatever 2005 or whenever the visual novel was released, you buy this visual novel with all these cute girls on the cover. You play through the ones that you want to play through. And then you kind of put it away, or if you're a psycho, you play through every single thing and gather all of the light orbs, and then go through Nagisa's route, and then get the second part of the ending, and then you have all of the light orbs at the very end. So then you get Tomiya after story, where all the shit with Ushio and like everything resets, and you get your actual thing, and you see Ushio under the tree.
Is that how it works?
Yeah, I was just explaining this. Like it's super in depth and a really good use of the format of a visual novel. That's what makes it such a good visual novel and why it was so beloved and made into an anime. But back to the Fuko thing, I think that it's like it's set up so that there's all these different kinds of girls that you can go like all these different routes, whether you like just a cute childlike girl that like you aren't necessarily like maybe you have a lolly fetish, or maybe you're just like you just really like cute things and you just like things to be cute, but you are not necessarily a romantic thing, then you go with Fuko. Or if you want one step further and you do want a romantic thing, then you go with your childhood friend, which is another trope, Kotomi, and everybody fits like this this sort of lane in the harem, and that's what Fuko represents. But I do agree, like if it wasn't for the visual novel harem aspect of you just being able to choose which girl you want, then I agree that it does make sense, and like especially the way the story evolves, like once you get to the end game and what after story is and what the true message and everything is, it like Fuko does then take on the role of like a child, you know what I mean? And even in Fuko's arc, like Fuko's function, at least in the anime, I'm not sure about the visual novel, but Fuko originally is like foreshadowing for Ushio, basically. Like they're taking care of her like they would a child, and it's kind of setting that up. So I agree, but I also understand like the function of the whole visual novel thing. Good recap episode.
It was nice. It was just like all the highlights,
and we didn't get so much that like
I felt like okay, all right.
All right, you're really milking me here.
Yeah.
But no, like we got the end of them under the tree, and then Nagisa calling to them, and it's good. What if they just killed Fuko there? That's why she's sleeping. Okazaki sacrificed Ushio, or sacrificed Fuko for Ushio. With the little book?
Yeah, there's a little starfish and an octopus. A little picnic basket. Very nice. Yeah.
I wonder if that's the same day? It must be. He must have found them while like they were
No, they're in different outfits. They must have met that day, and then this is them like hanging out again. Because the first time after they met,
I didn't notice their
they
outfits.
started hanging out all the time, so that would probably happen again in this timeline. Very nice.
Beautiful, very nice.
Yeah. Thank you guys for watching.
Yeah.
Thanks for sticking with us. We still have the OVAs coming.
And the OVAs
from part 1. So, couple more weeks of content there. If you want to get them right now, you can go on our Patreon, patreon.com/boldcast. If you're watching on Patreon, thank you so much for your support. We really appreciate it. And yeah, hope you enjoyed. I'm Lindsay.
I'm Carson.
Bye-bye.